Hi guys, this is Steve, aka Press Play on Tape, and you're listening to the Retro Asylum, the UK's #1 retro gaming podcast show. Joining me today is Dean and the 10 Pence Arcade. Cool. Okay, so should we get on with the actual idea of what we're doing on this podcast?
Absolutely.
Yes, explain the idea to our listeners, please.
So
Steve.
the idea is we were chatting rubbish in our chat with these two guys.
How dare you?
And then that's what we do, though, isn't it? It's exactly what we do. We
How dare you?
Yeah, how very dare you? And so we come up with this idea to talk about games on consoles and computers that would have made good arcade games. So games that were never released in the arcade but came out on the classic consoles and computers that would have made really good arcade games. So we've come up with a list of games each, and we're going to go through them one by one and discuss what games we've picked, why we've picked them, why we think they'd be good arcade games, and where appropriate, what enhancements we'd make to those games if we put them into an arcade.
Yeah, because some of the games would need a little bit changing to make them good arcade games, because the rule of thumb with arcade manufacturers were a good game would last 2.5 minutes. So you get your 10p or your quarter or your yen, 100 yen, whatever you're putting into it, and you get 2.5 minutes out of it. And that'd be the ideal sort of amount of time for the average player. So yeah, some of these games, console games, you'd sit there for hours playing with your controller, but in an arcade, you have to be out of the way to make them some money.
Yeah, so it's like a pick up and play, and it's gonna have that just one more go, game over pretty quickly, but wanting you to go back and play.
Yeah, easy to learn, easy to get the hang of the controls.
Yeah,
hard to master.
Yeah,
yeah, cool. So Vic's already told us that he thinks some of our selection are shit.
I wouldn't say shit. I'd say farts. Soft shits.
Okay.
Well, some I think some would work reasonably well, and some maybe not. But we'll get onto that anyway. That's only my daft opinion, anyway.
That's okay. It's all we wouldn't have you on here if you weren't going to give
absolutely.
us your proper opinion. So you just say what you want. We might all argue about it, but that's the whole point. Cool. So, Shaun, you said we should go in age order. So you're last. No, you said name order.
I am. Yeah, I am. So, I will be last then. So the first is A, B, C, D. Dean!
D for Dean.
D for Dean.
Okay.
What have you got?
My first game is H.E.R.O. And it was the 2600 version that I grew up with. It was released on various formats. The C64 had quite a nice version. It's enhanced graphics, although I prefer the 2600's cleaner look. But, I do think that this is one of those games that it is pick up and play. It's easy to get into. Basically, you're a guy with a little helicopter backpack, and you can drop dynamites to blow walls away to reach your goal, which is rescuing trapped miners down mine shafts. And you can fire lasers out of your eyes, which is a bit strange. But hey ho, it's a game. It's not meant to be realistic.
Laser eyes.
And it's just a very simple game to get into. It starts off easy, like a lot of good games, and then the difficulty level just starts to ramp up every level. And I think I'm pretty rubbish at playing games, so I probably only lasted 2 minutes playing it the first time, and I still can't get too far into it today. I find it quite a hard game, but I think it'd suit the arcade really well. I've obviously enhanced the graphics a little bit, maybe a bit of background music, because there is no music in the game. But, other than that, I think the gameplay, you might have to limit the number of lives, because I think you do get quite a few lives. I can't remember off the top of my head.
4 or 5 in it to start.
Yeah, I think, if you had 1 or 2 lives, then it'd work in the arcade really well.
Even an energy bar would be quite good.
Yeah, I mean, it's already got the timer. Yeah, you're right, an energy bar might... Because it's one hit and you're dead, sort of thing. If you collide with any enemies or blow yourself up, you're dead. So I don't know if that would need to be changed or not, but I think this would be an ideal arcade game. And it's strange, a few Activision, well, at least one did end up in the arcade courtesy of Sega, Pitfall. Although
Pitfall
it's really
2,
Pitfall
yeah.
2.
It's sort of a mix. It's good, actually.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad. I still prefer the original, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think, H.E.R.O could have worked in the arcades. What do you guys reckon?
Definitely. You need a little bit of a... I suppose it'll have an attract mode, so the attract mode will tell you what to do, how to drop the bombs, and I think that would really work.
In my notes, I put in here, I didn't think it would work that well, but I've just changed my mind. I think in the arcade...
haven't I?
Yeah, you have. I think in the arcade, if you go back to the arcades, you've got horizontal games and vertical games. So the screens are flipped 90 degrees. On this game, because you're going like in the mine shaft, you'd have to have it vertical. So you can probably have more, more sort of levels to go down. Yeah. And what I was thinking as well is when you pull up, you sort of gradually go up and you can float around with your backpack on. But I think if you had a hover button, so you held the button down, so you could hover left and right, and let go of it to go up and down.
Probably a button for dropping the dynamite as well, rather than pulling down on the joystick. I think that probably work better.
It would, because you can make acts when you're sort of trying to go down and you land and you're still pulling down. You'll drop a bomb into yourself and you can blow yourself up.
Yeah,
and I think you'd have to have maybe the long screen, like I said. And I think the levels would have to be randomised as well, because people would just get to learn, the levels and the tunnels to go down. So I think if it was randomised with a couple of extra buttons and a vertical screen, I think it would work really well. And the side art, I always think about the side art of these games. It could be brilliant because the Activision with the sort of rainbow colours and everything, and the character with his, his laser visor on and all this lot, I think it'd be quite good. It would make an excellent arcade game. And I do like H.E.R.O on, I think, every version that's been released. The 2600 is classic. The 64 and the Atari 8-bit, almost exactly the same. And it's just sort of, the graphics are a little bit cleaner. Obviously, the Atari 2600 got quite a low resolution, but the game is absolutely brilliant on all formats. And
it's really playable.
I just thought
I played the 64 one to death.
Yeah. I just thought of another game it's actually a little bit similar to this in the arcade. There's a game called Freeze. Have you ever played it?
I haven't, no.
It's a similar game, but you're sort of in this cold ice cavern sort of thing, and there's different bits to it. But it's a similar thing where you float a guy around and stuff like that. It's quite a good little. It's quite an obscure game though. That one. I think H.E.R.O would have been really good. Everyone would know H.E.R.O as well in the arcade. They play it.
Yeah.
Right.
So you sort of nicked my idea there, Vic. Because my only comment really would have been it needs more buttons, especially for flying the jetpack.
Yeah, but the poor old 2600 and the Atari 8-bit and the 64 only had one button on the joystick anyway, so you had to sort of use up and down and space bar and all that lot. But definitely buttons in the arcade.
Yeah, that would really sort it out. Does anyone know what H.E.R.O actually stands for?
Yes, Helicopter Entertainment Robot Orange.
I think he might have made
right
that
on
up.
the first one.
I think it is an acronym for something, isn't it?
Something emergency rescue.
It is. It's something like that. Yeah.
Helicopter emergency rescue orifice.
Oh,
could be.
You ruined the last bit there, Steve.
Yeah,
You're doing so well.
What it is? It does say in the instructions of the game, but
but who reads instructions? We're blokes. We don't read instructions. We're idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I think it was a great game. It's really addictive. The level designs are nice. Like you say, if it was in a vertical orientation,
I think that would work really well.
You can see more of where you're going down to.
Yeah.
Because that's only with the horizontal display, it sort of cuts out where you're dropping down into the next level. You could have more.
Yeah, more to the levels, because the levels are quite quick on here, aren't they? Until they get later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it, Vic. Let's make it. Let's get one of our mates to code it.
Yes.
That would be nice. I'd love to see an arcade version of it.
It would be cool. What does it have with regards to, because I didn't get very far in it, with regards to bad guys and traps and stuff like that? Does it have many...
Spiders?
It just becomes,
Snakes.
You start getting tentacles coming out of the water and the lava, and they pull you down.
All right. I don't think we've ever got that far in it, to be honest with you.
It gets very, very hard. And
when you turn the lights off, it's annoying. Sometimes you go down a tunnel, and before you realise there's something underneath you, you've hit it.
The
and you've got to hit the
the
lanterns to
idea
turn
I
them on and off.
find with that game is try and go the way where it looks the most dangerous, and that's actually the easier path.
All right.
Yeah.
If you
Bit
go
of risk and
the
reward
more
going on
obvious looking way, you end up dying. Yeah, it's usually dead ends and stuff. But yeah, the levels end up getting longer, so you've got less time to get about, so you're rushing about a bit more. There are more enemies as you progress as well. Great little game.
It's a cool game. I was just thinking you could do stuff like spikes and flames to try and get through before they go. That kind of thing.
Yeah, well,
Whether
again, if there was an arcade version,
Definitely.
Yeah,
there
for
would be
enhancements, that's
more
what I meant to
enemies.
give you,
Yeah,
enhance it.
enhancements. There'd definitely be some of that.
yeah.
There's moving walls.
So
There's moving gaps that you have to get through, like that. You have to get,
there?
yeah,
There
you
you
have to
go.
get through the middle. Yeah.
Or you get squished.
Timing
And the
things.
lava walls as well, they're a pain. You've got to try and get up close to them, pull
if you
down
touch
to
them,
do
you're
the
dead, aren't
dynamite. Yeah, really are. And you can fire through those. If you run out of dynamite, you can just stand there for ages. But obviously, your air's going down, which is basically a timer. So
Yeah. So we're in agreement then. This will make a good arcade.
Absolutely on that one.
Oh
Well,
yes.
we can care. We can care. You can care.